The knife slipped through the roast as her words cut deeper. "You're not getting any of my inheritance," she announced, her wineglass raised like a queen declaring judgment. "Lazy husbands don't deserve it." The table chuckled, her siblings, her cousins, all feeding on my humiliation. I didn't flinch. I didn't argue. I spared another piece of meat, chewed slowly, and nodded as if she'd just commented on the weather. That silence was my answer, because only I knew what was coming. I met her when I was nothing, a quiet engineer buried in code and long nights, too obsessed with building to bother with appearances. She was magnetic, sharp tongue, sharper eyes. She said she loved my ambition. What she really loved was control. The moment we married, she made it clear. Her family's money was hers. I would always be the outsider, tolerated but never equal. I accepted it, or at least I pretended to. But I never stopped building. The signs of betrayal weren't sexual, they were worse. She rolled her eyes at me in public, mocked my work, laughed with her sisters about my pipe dreams. She wanted me small, dependent, grateful for scraps. And in her arrogance, she never noticed the late nights that weren't about exhaustion. They were about empire. She never saw the meetings behind closed doors, the contracts signed under holding companies, the quiet rise of a fortune she thought impossible. By the time she declared I was a lazy husband, I owned more than her entire bloodline combined. I didn't plan revenge in fire. I planned it in silence. Every business I built, I kept in my name alone. Every property, every patent, every stock option, locked beyond her reach. The prenup she once mocked for being irrelevant had become ironclad armor. And then Forbes called. They wanted confirmation. I gave them the numbers. Quietly, discreetly. I didn't even tell her. I wanted the world to tell her for me. At Christmas dinner, her family's long oak table gleamed with silverware and candlelight. She sat at the head, her father beside her, treating me like the tolerated shadow, once again. Her toast came sharp and cruel. To family, to success, and to hard work. Unlike some of us, who prefer to live off others. Her eyes flicked to me. Laughter followed. I lifted my glass and drank, letting the humiliation settle over the room. And then it happened. Her nephew, 15, glued to his phone, gasped so loud the table froze. "Uncle Mark is on Forbes' billionaire list." Forks dropped. Chairs shifted. All eyes turned to me. She laughed at first, a nervous, high-pitched sound. "Don't be ridiculous!" But the boy shoved his phone across the table. There it was, my face, my name, my net worth glowing in bold numbers. Billionaire. The room fell into a silence so thick I could hear the fire crackle. Her hand shook as she reached for the phone, reading and rereading, desperate to find a mistake. I met her eyes, calm, unmoved. The same nod I had given when she called me lazy. Her father broke the silence. "Is this true?" "Yes," I said simply. "I didn't think it was worth mentioning." Gasps rippled. Her sister whispered, "My God." My wife's face drained of color. She opened her mouth, but no words came. I leaned forward, voice low, every syllable measured. "You called me lazy. You told your family I was nothing." I paused, letting her squirm. "But I built more than you could ever imagine, while you were too busy mocking me to notice." Her jaw trembled. "Mark, I cut her off with the smallest smile. "Save it." The rest of dinner was chaos. Questions fired at me from every angle, about businesses, about investments, about how I had hidden it so well. I answered politely, without arrogance, while she sat frozen, drowning in the collapse of her power. Every proud smirk she'd won for years had been erased in one evening. And the beauty was, I never raised my voice. I never insulted her. I simply existed, revealed, undeniable. That was the revenge. Later, as guests trickled out, she cornered me in the hallway. "Why didn't you tell me?" she hissed, her voice desperate now, not commanding. I looked at her with the same calm I had carried all night. "Because you never saw me. You saw what you wanted, a man beneath you. I wanted you to live in that illusion, right up until it shattered." She reached for my hand, but I pulled back. "Mark, we can—" "No," I said firmly. "You had your chance to stand beside me. You chose to stand above me instead." Her face crumpled. For the first time I saw fear, not of losing money, but of losing me. And it was already too late. That night I stood by the window, the glow of Christmas lights flickering across the glass. Her family finally knew who I was. She finally knew who she had underestimated.